Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a book that was written by a teenager, for teenagers, and ended up changing young adult literature forever. So let's just start with the question, one that gets right to the heart of this classic story, and, maybe our own world too.
Think about all the stuff we say we value in people, their character, how creative they are, just being a good person.
Now, what if that one single thing, where you grew up, how much you had, what if that overshadowed everything else?
Well, those questions, they perfectly set the stage for the world of S.E. Hinton's groundbreaking novel, The Outsiders. The whole story is built right on top of this single powerful division.
And what's so amazing is that this wasn't some fantasy. It came straight from the author's real life. She was a teenager who was literally living through these same exact visions herself.
Okay, so let's dig into the backstory here, because understanding when and why this was written is totally key to getting its impact.
So you got to picture the 1960s. Most books for young people were pretty tame, kind of sanitized and cheerful. But S.E. Hinton was just 16 years old, and she was seeing the real tensions at her own high school between the wealthy kids and the working-class kids. She wanted to write something that felt true.
And that is the crucial point. Her goal wasn't to write some feel-good escape. It was to hold up a mirror to the world and say, hey, this is what it's really like for us. So let's get to the main event, the core conflict. This is where that social divide gets a name and a face. The novel is split right down the middle into two worlds. On one side, you have the greasers. They're from the wrong side of the tracks, and for them, their group of friends is their family, their lifeline. And on the other side, you've got the socks, short for socials. They're the rich, privileged kids. And the line separating them has nothing to do with character. It's all about cash. A violent showdown really kicks the plot into high gear. But even though the story is driven by this gang rivalry, its real heart is about something much deeper. It's about belonging, and about trying to figure out who you are when it feels like the world has already decided for you.
This is where the story challenges everyone, the characters inside it, and us reading it, to look past the surface. And this is where the most powerful ideas really start to shine. The book makes it crystal clear that the deck is stacked against the greasers. They're judged all the time, people expect less from them, and it's all based on their background. This affects their opportunities, their future, and even how they see themselves.
And we feel this struggle through our main character, Ponyboy. Here's a kid who's in a tough street gang, but he also loves books and sunsets. He's wrestling with this idea that he can be more than one thing. And that's such a universal feeling, right? Trying to figure out where you fit when you don't neatly belong in any single box. So, Ponyboy's whole journey in this book is about learning empathy. He starts off seeing things in black and white. Greasers are good, socks are bad. Simple. But as the story goes on, he actually starts to talk to some of the socks, and he begins to see the cracks in their so-called perfect lives. That leads him to this huge realization that these labels, greaser, sock, they're just words, and they hide the complex and often hurting real person underneath.
And this whole journey towards seeing people as people leads to one of the most iconic, most quoted lines in all of young adult fiction, spoken by his best friend, Johnny.
So what does it even mean to stay gold? Well, it's a plea. It's about holding on to your true self, your sensitivity, your goodness, your ability to see beauty in things, before the harshness of the world makes you cynical and hard.
And really, that's the ultimate message of the book. In a world that's all about being tough, Ponyboy learns that the greatest power, the real strength, is being able to see other people as human, even your enemies. Empathy isn't weakness, it's courage.
So why, after more than 50 years, does this story written by a teenager still resonate so deeply with every new generation that reads it?
Well, for starters, this book was a complete revolution. Before The Outsiders, books for teens mostly avoided tough subjects. Hinton came along and wrote about classism, violence, and grief. And she proved that young readers were more than ready for it. They were hungry for it. She basically helped create the entire modern young adult genre as we know it today.
But the real reason it endures is it's just so relatable. The challenges Ponyboy was facing in the 60s are incredibly similar to what young people face right now. The struggle to find your identity, the sting of social divides, the pain of being stereotyped, these are absolutely timeless problems.
And so its core lessons are what make it so universal. It's a reminder that you are so much more than any label anyone tries to put on you, and that the person on the other side of the fight is still just as human as you are.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. The Outsiders isn't just a story about two gangs in Oklahoma. It's a story about us. It's for every single person who's ever felt like they were on the outside looking in. And it's about the profound, world-changing power that comes from simply trying to understand.